everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I have a special guest all the way out in, I believe, Ontario, Canada.
Toronto, Ontario.
All right.
RTO.
And looking forward to learning more about Mogul Productions. We have Gorav. How you doing today?
Good. How you doing, Richard?
Man, I'm excellent. I'm excited to learn more about Mogul Productions because it's in a very unique spot within the film industry, which I'll let you dive more into. But before we do that, I want to learn more about you. Give us some background on yourself.
Sure. I've been an avid fan of film and TV since a very young age. So before I kind of started my entire corporate career, I worked in the film industry. So worked as a talent manager for a bunch of actors. One of them that I'd spent a lot of time and focus on was a guy named Lyric Bent. You might recognize him from the Saw horror franchise films or The Affair. He did The Book of Negroes. He was in She's Gotta Have It with Spike Lee, that Netflix series. He's done a ton of stuff. And so I did that for a number of years. And then went to school for corporate finance and accounting. And I've been in the capital markets for about 12 years, working on Bay Street, which is Canada's Wall Street. So, I was an investment banker for a bunch of years. I actually worked on taking one of the first cannabis companies public in the world, Tweed, which became Canopy. So I've spent a bunch of years in investment banking, and now I'm the co-head of capital markets for a large independent wealth manager in Canada. So we do mergers, acquisitions, taking companies public, private, corporate advisory, all that type of stuff. And so I've been around the finance and got introduced to blockchain back in probably 2016, 2017.
Good time.
Yeah. So it's been a wild ride.
No doubt, man. And it's quite the robust background that you have. The fact that you were in finance, but then also in video production, and then finding ways to kind of blend the two. And even with first being introduced into the crypto space, like tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did you learn about it? And then like, how did you figure out that, wow, this is a way that I could blend like what I'm passionate about with where the future is headed?
So I learned about it. I'd read about it, but never really paid a whole lot of attention over the years. And back in kind of 2016, or probably like 2017, where we had the last big bull run, a lot of companies were going public in the crypto space. And I started meeting a lot of companies and got introduced to that way. And most of it was crap. People were just trying to take advantage of the public markets and, throw blockchain in the name of their company and get some crazy valuation. I saw a lot of that stuff. I started to learn. And then one of the guys that I worked with was one of the initial founding team of a project called Syscoin. And learned about it through him, and bought my first Bitcoin back then and started to trade and kind of went down the rabbit hole that way. It's been pretty earth shattering. Like the company that I worked with raised a couple $2 billion for a number of big crypto companies. So one of them is Michael Novogratz, his company Galaxy Digital.
Yeah.
And so they raised a $250 million, and another one called Hut 8, which was the world's largest publicly traded crypto mining company. So one of my friends ran that, and a number of others. So yeah, it's been it's been in my face so much, and the best way to learn is really just to throw money into it, because then you start to care. And and from what I can do, I really do believe, having been on the film side and then the finance side, that this is the future.
I agree. And when my eyes first got open to the crypto blockchain space, I knew that this is where the world was headed. So how can I educate myself and find ways to plug in what I'm passionate about and turning that into a career? And what's been amazing with it is being able to meet amazing people like yourself, and to educate others along the way to just show that there's so many different elements and ways that you can get plugged into this space. And one of the coolest ways I've seen so far, kind of like what you're doing, is with Mogul Productions, how you're helping impact the film industry in such a new and unique way. So can you explain what Mogul Productions is and what your vision is that you're creating?
Yeah, absolutely. So Mogul is basically a DeFi film funding and NFT platform for the entertainment space. And really the genesis of this was really born by, there's a story around the movie Deadpool. Love the movie, big Ryan Reynolds fan. But the story of how that got made is that Ryan Reynolds apparently was trying to get that movie made for years, and nobody
Wow.
would pay any attention to him. And the studios all said no. They couldn't fathom how an R-rated action comic book film would ever resonate or do well, especially when your target market is like 15, a lot less, like younger than that, right?
Right.
The tweens and all that. And what happened is he ended up making a trailer and putting it out on the net. And people went crazy over it and essentially forced the studio to make the movie. And it was really that feedback loop from the fans that basically voiced what they wanted to see. So kind of in that spirit, Mogul was created to essentially democratize the film funding space. So if there's really two kind of groups. There's the studios, and there'd be the independent producers and financiers for film. And if you're not a big studio like MGM or Universal, Sony, you're a producer trying to raise money for movies. And I have a lot of friends that are producers. I've done some stuff on that side as well. And it's very hard to raise money for movies. And then if you're on the other side of that stick, like a wealthy person that is going to finance a movie, you really have very little basis for the diligence and kind of work that you do to be able to make a decision. I'm going to give you money to make this movie. Right. So what Mogul does is we accept film project submissions from a variety of different places, whether it's people, the community, producers, film production companies. We filter those out and then put them onto our showcase. And then our token holders, the fans, can actually vote on the film that they want to see get made, interact with the producers and the filmmakers, and then Mogul will finance that film. And the fans, token holders, can actually follow the film all the way from financing all the way down to distribution, and up until you see the movie on the screen, and they can earn rewards and essentially be a mogul. Just like you don't have to have $10 million, to be a film mogul. Like you can do it here. So it's really leveraging blockchain technology, adding a layer of transparency and accountability, and really giving power back to the people. So instead of having some guy, in some office in LA at a studio, or some independent producer trying to figure out what the market is going to want to see, you're actually getting that feedback loop from the crypto community and the fans. And it's you're kind of going, you're starting with the end user to say, well, what kind of films do you want to see? What type of content do you want to see get made? And through the fans and the people, we end up making those movies. And it's great because you can actually leverage this global audience and network effect for films, because it is harder and harder to really compete in that market. I mean, there's a gluttony of different content everywhere. I mean, I sit back with my wife trying to watch Netflix, and we get fed up, end up watching Friends because there's so much stuff to watch, right?
Right. You kind of get in this paralysis of just too much options. And there's a couple of things that I want to definitely break down that you've kind of laid out, which I think is extremely unique and awesome. You're basically saying that if you've ever had the dream or ambition of potentially being a producer one day, but don't have millions of dollars to do it, through Mogul Productions, you are able to essentially become a mogul and be able to invest in some of these projects, and see it from start to finish, and then also be able to reap some of the rewards if it's a success or whatnot. I think that's amazing and extremely cool, but I'm definitely curious about the tokenomics of like how that works, right? So is it a matter of, for example, like if someone's listening to this right now is like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for this my entire life. I want to be on this right now. Like, what does that onboarding process look like? Like, let's say that we get in and a person comes on, gets the tokens, and they want to participate. And you're saying basically you're able to vote on these different projects. And if it moves forward, then you're basically locked in. So is it that only the ones that you lock into that you're able to benefit those? Or is it like as the entire community, once it's voted, then basically like the tokenomics is basically if it does well, then everyone does well? Like, can you kind of just break that down a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So like our token, which is stars, is basically used as an in-app currency on our platform. So mogulproductions.com, we have more than 50,000 users right now, and something like 30,000 members in our Telegram community.
Awesome.
But you take the stars token and you can use it as an in-app currency within the platform. So you can do things like vote for films. You can interact with the creators, the content creators, and we'll put up rewards with each film. So we actually have our first live showcase right now. So we received hundreds of different film projects, and we filtered them out because some of them aren't really viable for us to make, right? Like if the movie needs like $500 million, like we don't have that, right? So
right.
there's certain things that weren't really viable for us to make, and then there's others that are just too early. Like we got great projects, like amazing concepts, but the scripts weren't done, right? So
right.
It was trying to filter out kind of all the noise and to film projects that we think could be viable for the community, and then we put them up onto our showcase. So we have right now a live showcase with 3 films. We've partnered up with a company called Bungalow out of LA, and their office is on the Universal Studio lot. And we have 3 films. One of them is called Devil Row, the second one's called MR9, and the last one's called Terminal Station. And we filtered these projects out through hundreds of different films, and we got feedback from our community. And they have kind of major stars that are going to be signing on distribution deals with some of the biggest distribution or streaming companies, hint, in the world. And people can vote. So by voting, like staking your tokens and voting for the films on the platform, you can earn more tokens. So I think we have 1 million tokens that are actually being given away as rewards for people voting on the projects. And once those films get made, you'll be able to follow everything kind of, there'll be interviews and behind the scenes, but we also negotiate with each of these films experiences as rewards for our users. So if you want to go spend a day on set, go to the film premiere, have lunch with the director or whatever it is, those are certain things that we can provide to our community. So that's like another added benefit. And then dollars and cents is you participate in the profits of every single film. So, that network effect of our community, those 50,000 members we have on our platform, those 30,000 Telegram, our social media, every single person that's sitting there and actually following along with each film based on the decision that they help kind of craft on what gets funded. There's a kind of a built-in audience there, and people tell their friends, and that grows. And the better the film does, obviously the better for the community, because we all reap in the profits. So we'll get a chunk of the profit participation from the sale of every movies. And the thing is, like, we're focusing on smaller budget films, so sub $10 million. Mm-hmm. And the beauty is the films don't necessarily even need to only make money through conventional forms like distribution, because we have a full, robust NFT platform as well.
Right.
So
I definitely want to spend time on that too, because like that is another unique element of this, where you're basically taking so many awesome elements that blockchain is able to provide, from participating and be able to vote in a community, being able to reap in the profits of the success of the movies that go through, but then also the NFT aspect of it. So let's definitely spend some time and learn a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. And then, so just on the final thing I forgot to mention is that, I think I might have started with it, but nobody in the world is doing this right now. Like this project's been years of us building it. And we have some pretty cool things going on the NFT side as well. So we have a full NFT marketplace launching this September. And, I'm sure your community is well aware of what NFTs are, but right. The benefit there is for creatives, whether they be in music or sports or entertain, acting, directing, whatever it is. You can take, anything from still images to video clips to, IP ownership, and turn them into NFTs and create limited edition runs, like collector items. I mean, I remember somebody telling me years ago that selfies were the new autograph. Like when I was a kid, I used to want to go get, autographs of your favorite athletes or, actors or whatever. Well, then it kind of evolved into selfies. But then I think the next kind of iteration of this now is the NFT side. So we can create rare limited edition runs on our platform. And it's great for the filmmakers because, if you're a real fan and there's a cult following to a project, imagine being able to create limited edition NFTs at a, Stan Lee memorabilia or Star Wars, where you can get an autographed poster. There's only 5 that exist. What if you got like the teaser trailer or something, like the first audition tape or whatever it was from, some of the cast there, and, you own that NFT. Well, it's an entirely new revenue stream for the media, like for the entertainment industry. And it's great for the token holders. And you can build things into these smart contracts, like say there's a filmmaker and he wants to make a short film, like a 20-minute short film. And it's hard to raise money. Like, who's going to give you money to raise a 20-minute, like to make a 20-minute short film? It's going to be tough. So the beauty about the NFT side is that they could make an NFT out of their short film and sell 10 limited edition copies to that. And they make that, they raise the money through the NFTs, and they could build in within the contract, like they earn 10% from every sale of the NFT. And say that director ends up going on to make like the next Godfather and he wins an Academy Award. Well, now the secondary market for these NFTs is going to skyrocket.
Right.
And they're able to make that piece of art, that 20-minute short film. They're able to do it through the community. The community now owns these NFTs, which are increasing in value, right, based on the career of this person. They're benefiting as well because they can actually tap into that revenue stream every time there's a transaction with these NFTs. And it's really eliminating the middleman, right? It's really democratizing the process, being able to monetize their art in new forms, and being able to know that this is a one-of-a-kind kind of collector's item. So
yeah, man, that is revolutionary, right? I mean, you brought up plenty of examples, but I mean, even the concept of like when you first had the Marvel series first getting kicked off, and you had like all the originals from auditions of the original Hulk to even the first Iron Man, and like being able to just see a decade-long transformation of all of that. And you could have little snippets of those moments in time, or like literally if you bought an NFT of the Infinity Gauntlet, and if they had a life-size one-of-one replica of that, like you can imagine how insane like that would have like sold for, right? And like being able to have those kind of marketplaces as this continues to evolve is not only going to be like highly lucrative in a lot of new ways that these people within the video production has ways to be able to connect further with community, but also be able to monetize it. But it also opens up this compound interest effect of being able to really monetize from the previous versions of your stuff. Like, can you imagine the original Star Wars having NFTs? Like, how just insane! Like, that would be nuts.
I used to collect DVDs as a kid. I mean, I still have like boxes and boxes of them. And then before that, when I was young, I used to collect like hockey cards and baseball cards. And there's been an evolution because everybody lives on these now, right? So
right.
On your cell phone, and our entire universe now. I think COVID has only accelerated the fact that people are living more and more in this digital world, and be able to create this kind of non-fungible aspect to something, and to be able to work with people directly and have them connect with their fans. I think that's a completely different level. Like, the capital markets are highly regulated, taking companies public and selling stuff. It's, there's, fraud, and, it's hard to really determine what's happening with companies operating behind closed doors. If there's a central authority. Well, on the blockchain, you can see everything. And, with an NFT, there's no worry about there being a fake replica or whatever it is.
Right.
So case in point is back in a few months ago, he actually joined our advisory team, a guy named Rob Pryor. He's a famous Marvel artist. So he works with all the big studios, and he ended up doing a community-funded painting. So the community voted on a Wolf of Wall Street painting. So we had this live stream, and we had like 500,000 people from around the world tune in. I think we were streaming, not only on like YouTube and our kind of platform, but also on this other platform called Lomotif, which is like a TikTok competitor in Asia. And we had 500,000 people tuning into this thing, and this guy's art typically sells for, let's call it $15,000 to $25,000. And he's an amazing artist. He paints with two hands. Well, we're able to market this NFT. So he basically live streamed him creating this Wolf of Wall Street painting in real time, painted it right in front of our eyes, and then we turned it into an NFT and then burned the original copy. So that piece of art only lived on as an NFT, and we sold that for just under $200,000. So we beat like Snoop Dogg, we beat Floyd Mayweather, we beat all these like pretty notable personalities, public personalities with our NFT, and I think that's kind of the value and the benefit to NFTs. I mean, this guy never even knew that there was this kind of world there, and he's 100% in, doing a lot of really cool stuff. His art is being appreciated by an entire new kind of global community, and I thought it was really cool. So we have this marketplace launching in September, and we're going to be doing a whole lot more of that.
Definitely.
And it's in the same vein from the films. Like, we can create NFTs that are clips out of the movie, out of the trailer. We could just do, talent, whatever it is in any field coming onto our platform. And I'm super, super excited. I've been in both worlds, and I've never seen anything like what DeFi is. To be able to stake your tokens, earn rewards, trade NFTs. It's very, very cool.
It is. And I want to spend a couple more moments on that just real quick, because what I think artists are starting to realize is the impact of the globalization of how quickly they are able to create something of their art that they would typically have, but instead of it living in an art room, having limited access of people who would actually ever see it and be able to purchase it, and it being a one-time transaction, now you are putting this on blockchain. Now you're giving more access to the world to be able to see what you have created. And then also you're able to make compound money every time it's resold. Like, it's not comparable. Like, why wouldn't you do it as an artist, right? And a lot of artists, as they start to see how this works, are pretty much going, like you said, are going all in on this type of concept, because not only does it logically make more sense, but it physically makes more dollar sense for them. So I think that's going to be extremely unique. I think it's going to be very powerful, and it's going to be very appetizing to a lot of people who are learning about it. But on that same vein, I do have a question, since I do have a video production specialist in amongst us. Where do you see the future of this industry going? So of course you're the first mover into turning a lot of this into blockchain, DeFi, NFTs, all of that. But as we kind of transform into the next, let's call it 3 to 5 years, do you think that the industry is also going to start to slowly move in this direction?
Yeah, I think, the biggest problem with the entire blockchain and crypto side is that not everybody understands it, and it seems a lot more dense and complicated than it actually is. And I can tell you the way that I learned was through friends and going on YouTube videos and just screwing around with my, on my own.
Right.
So I think one of the biggest challenges that we've had is just trying to educate people to say like what it is, right? So, like, you're gonna give us, you're gonna help finance movies with fake internet money. Like no, this fake internet money is real money,
Right.
and we can do that. And they're like, well, what's an NFT? And it's and then a lot of it is education, because it's a lot of the practices that have been kind of doing the same thing for so long. But I do think that the industry is hurting in many respects. I mean, you saw that with the music industry, before with Napster and that kind of evolution from CDs to streaming.
Right.
And you're seeing the same thing with just like, it used to be difficult to make a movie, right? Anybody could make a movie, or anybody with a lot of money could make a movie because it's expensive. You have to get the cameras and the lighting, and you'd have to go and distribute and do all this stuff. But now everybody has like a video camera on their phone, and the cost of all the equipment to make movies is gone down substantially. So the result is you have so much content and media and so many different platforms for people to consume them. And that star system that we used to have isn't as prevalent as it used to be. So I think the industry, in an effort to try to reconnect directly, especially from the artists themselves, the filmmakers, the content creators, to be able to distribute something. Like, we have a partnership with IPOs, which provides us the ability to distribute the films on the blockchain. It's a much cheaper, faster way than conventional forms without having to give away 50% of your profit.
Right.
You're paying fractions of that. And, all those things are extremely beneficial. So you're seeing, I think I read the other day, there was a movie, an Ethereum movie, where they raised several $1 million in a few days by literally going into the Telegram community and educating them, and people voted and voted with their wallets. And now that movie's getting made. And I think as more and more people start seeing the potential and opportunities, they're going to jump on the bandwagon. But a lot of it is education. So, we have some really great people on our team, and, it was an educational kind of aspect to get them on board. And then, when they talk to their contacts, like, we have an Oscar and Emmy nominated producer, Cindy Cowan. She did Traffic, if you remember the movie Traffic.
Yeah.
So she's on our team, and she has a great Rolodex, and she's talking to people, but it's having to educate them on what our platform is, where this community lives, how they work, how it's important to interact with them, and the entire process of how all the stuff works. And then the one step after that is really the concept of NFTs and how that can apply to them. So I think it's going to take time. They always say, like, an overnight success in Hollywood is 10 years.
10-year overnight success, right?
And in the crypto community, like a month is eternity, right? So we're running. It's a 24/7 kind of business here, and we're working with a lot of people that we know. The great things, we've been working on this platform for the last few years. So it's I think it's going to transform the space. I'm sure more people will start following suit. We're the first ones right now, and I can guarantee you we're not the last. But I do think we have first mover advantage. And this kind of DeFi film funding showcase that we have up right now, I think the vote ends in like a week and a half, is going to be the first time a film is ever funded by the fans, like, using this DeFi platform. So one way or the other, I think we're inking history here. But I don't think this is the last you're going to see of it. It's going to become more and more prevalent. Like, look at the news every day. New artists, new actors, new studios.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, and like you're definitely breaking history. And congratulations on doing that, having that first mover. I know it's a lot of years in the making to be able to get to this point, but it's exciting that you're now getting to share with the community. And of course, for everyone listening, make sure you go check this out. Especially me myself, I'm personally interested in this, so I know I'm going to be looking into this. The fact that I'd be able to invest in a potential movie, it sounds incredible. So I'm highly excited to go and check that out, man. But, as we kind of wrap up here, Gaurav, I always like to ask two final questions, which are the first being, if you could take all the information that you have right now and you go back to yourself when you first got started kind of in the crypto blockchain side of your career and can impart 2 to 3 pieces of wisdom to yourself, what would you tell yourself?
I think the first thing is, because it's such a new kind of nascent industry, like so much stuff's going on. I think it's important. Well, first would have obviously been HODL, right? Right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I think one of the things would be just to learn as much as possible and to kind of walk before you run. Like I ended up doing a lot of dumb stuff, with security in terms of how you keep your wallets secure, not putting your password in, like your Dropbox and like dumb stuff like that. And then trading and, margining stuff like crazy. So I think, and I didn't know a lot of this stuff too. Like I learned something new and then I'd jump on it. And, it's when things are going well, it's kind of easy for everybody to make money. But when you go back into like a bear market, when things are not going all that well, like you have to be extra vigilant. So I think if I could go back, it'd definitely be just hodling and then kind of walking before running and trying to learn as much as possible, because everything's out there, right? You just need to spend the time to do it.
I agree. And that goes back to your earlier point that you're making about how even in this industry, education is highly important. And once you can help someone see the vision of what's actually happening and then give them the tools that they can go and act on it, it's easier for them to walk and then go into a sprint with having the right tools so they don't have to fall on their face like a lot of us have along the way. Not to say that they still won't or have some little hiccups here and there, but it at least gives them a lot more ability to move faster through this market. But, I really appreciate all the time you've spent with us today. But what is a final thought that you want to leave with all of our listeners?
I think, I think do your research, check out Mogul Productions. I'm really excited about it. And, the people that we have involved in our team are I think really great, incredible people with amazing track records. I think there's a lot of nefarious stuff out there, and I think you need to do your research and your homework before you get into anything. So I kind of urge you to do the same on us as you would on any other project that you're going to take your kind of hard-earned crypto or easier in crypto and invest to. But I think, educate yourself before you do anything. If you want to be a part of the entertainment or film industry and really help democratize and revolutionize it, I think Mogul is a really great opportunity. And, we'll be giving you guys access to interact with the filmmakers and the producers themselves. And, we're all there on Telegram. We're just a message away. And I think check us out and do your research, because I'm super excited. I don't need to be here, but I'm here because I choose to, and I want to be a part of this ride.
That's awesome. And I think that's a great final thought of you're choosing to be here, right? And you're choosing to be able to give access to everyone to be able to participate in an opportunity like this. Everyone who's listening right now, you're choosing to listen to this. You're choosing to take that next step in learning about a new opportunity. And then you then make the choice to move forward on it if you want to. So thank you for that final thought. What are ways that people can connect with you and learn more about Mogul?
You can go on, obviously, our website, mogulproductions.com, or Telegram, which is the kind of main place where a lot of crypto happens. So we have an official Telegram channel, and we're on Twitter and kind of all the social media channels. And just hit us up. We're there. Somebody from the team community will talk to you if you have any questions. And we're there. We're kind of running and trying to make inroads into as many different places within the entertainment industry And I think, more to come. Just wait and see. We're going to some pretty cool announcements, celebrities, partnerships, all that.
No doubt. Well, thank you for sharing all that with us. Everyone listening, make sure you go check all of that out. And of course, for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent.